Hey, what's going on? Taha Photo here. Today we are talking about editing workflow. Let's go. As winter continues to plow forward, staying indoors and staying cozy and editing photos seems to be all the rage. To me, I cannot stand the cold. Now let's think about editing. It's almost become more important than actually telling a good story in an image. Everybody's excited to edit. Now, the internet has played a huge role in that because basically any app that you open is going to have 1,000,001 ways to alter the photo that you have. So everybody's an expert, everybody's curious, everybody is trying to change the image they took. And there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I'm guilty of the same thing because when I started photography, my editing was very saturated and over edited. I really thought that the more I added onto the photo, the better the photo would be. But over the years you get better and you realize that it's actually about telling a great story and then enhancing that story ever so slightly to complement this beautiful image that you took. So I thought it would be interesting to go over my editing workflow in Lightroom and the process that I use to make sure that my edits are consistent and the feel of my work is consistent. Now before I get into my edits, I want to just remind you of the process that I try to take for every image when I bring it into Lightroom. This is the process: adjustments, coloring, and then polishing. That's it. So let's hop into Lightroom right now and see what we can do. All right, so this was a street scene, very cold that morning, and this gentleman happened to be walking by. And at the time that he was walking by, he was wiping his eye because it was pretty windy. Again, you know the 3 steps. We go adjustment, then we go color, and then we go polish. So in the adjustments, since it's here, this is under basic, let's decide, is it gonna be color or black and white? I know for a fact I want this sign to be a big part of the story. So I'm going to do the first thing. This is where we do all the little adjustments, as we know. I'm gonna go to original and then 16:9. Let's see if it captures enough because I don't wanna lose this sign, right? I'm thinking, do I need it to be 16:9? Because I don't know if she's helping the story here. So I think I'm gonna shoot this 2:3 because I just don't know if this lady is adding any value to the image. I might make one more adjustment, bring him over here because this is not interesting to me. So far, so good. We're still making our adjustments now. Again, let's see. Is it one of these super sunny days or is it cold? I think it's cold. This one looks like it should be cold. Do we need to see every detail of his jacket? These are simple questions you ask. I don't think so. Highlights, almost exposed perfectly to me. Shadows, definitely need the shadows. Whites, I just gave it a little pop. Darks, which also acts as shadows. It's almost like you have 3 shadows, right? Contrast, shadows, and blacks. So when we press backslash, let's see what happens here. See, all that was just from the adjustments that we made. We did not do any coloring, which is great. So now we have the exposure that we want, the loneliness that I want to be felt in this image. I think I've achieved that. So let's move on to the next step, coloring, right? Now, I like to go to the presets and just see what the presets thought of all these adjustments that I made. Because I could be missing something, so I'm gonna go with Vintage Instant. That's what feels right. Do a little bit more tweaking. Clarity down, dehaze down. Okay, so I feel like I'm right where I wanna be with this edit. So the last thing I'm gonna do is go to step 3, which is polish. When I add polish, that means things like grain. So we zoom in. What do we need? Maybe 25%, then we pull it back a bit. I don't mind that, 15%. Calibration is a key one, but it's not used for every image. But for example, let's just look at the saturation on the reds. You see? So if you wanted something specifically to pop, instead of just going up here to all your hue, saturation, and luminance, know that you have another option with a very detailed tweak of the primary reds in that image. But it's also telling me to maybe work with shadows and contrast just a bit more, that flat look. Adds to the heaviness, that melancholy that we're looking for in my images. So I think I'm almost done there. I'm going to go to vignetting just a bit here. just to keep the focus on him and everything that's going on. And then I always do it and then pull back, because I feel sometimes, even like the midpoint, there we go. Okay, I like this. Again, backslash, here we were, here we are now. And then now let's do that tweak that I wanted to fix up. So this is the polishing end. So I'm gonna use spot removal. I don't know if I need that to be so bright. We're not eliminating it, right? Because we want it to be as real as possible. So now the focus stays on the person at hand here. Nothing else to do here. Let's move on. Okay, so here's an image that was taken at night. I thought that would be interesting. I took it from my car and I shot it in portrait. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is adjustments. What are the adjustments that we wanna make? Well, let's go to our frame again. 4x5, like that's Instagram size. So we'll stick to 4x5, click, click, boom, we're ready to go. Okay, and the next thing we wanna do is look at our white balance. Is this a cold night? Is this a warm night? Easy to go, oh, this is a warm night, but it was cold. I think I'm gonna stick around the colder temperatures. Again, exposure, not bad. Contrast, remember we're shooting at night, so I wanna keep as many of the colors and the sharpness and the information as possible. So I'm thinking about that when I'm going through all these adjustments, because of things like grain, because we're shooting at night. Highlights, we'll tweak those, but I'm gonna pull those down a bit. Shadows, I like the little glare off this, so I'm gonna pull the shadows up. I don't wanna lose some of that dreaminess in the letters. Vibrance again, your friend, detailed friend. Good, done with the adjustments. Let's hop right into the coloring part. Let's go right down to HSL. I want to look at my reds, of course, see how much we want to adjust. All tweaks, if you notice, that's all I'm doing is tweaking. I can't be going crazy on these things, it just doesn't feel right. I want more blue in this, so what I'm going to do is, remember we always go to our presets, so we'll hop over here and let's just see what is feeling right. This will help guide you. Okay, I'm liking this cool matte. Remember I was telling you I want the blues? It feels, again, like it's a cold night and the only thing that we want to see is this donut sign. Like this is like the refuge. Oh my God, I'm saved. I found the donut shop. Again, when you're going back to your colors, now ask yourself, what's missing? What needs to be tweaked here? So now that we're messing with the blues, let's go to the luminance of the blues and see what this does. Ooh, see? We're pulling out that exaggerated white from the whites. It's too much, right? But if we pull it, it starts to get moody. So we're just doing our colors here. Let's go down to calibration. Don't forget calibration. A little exaggerated on the greens. This is hype to me. And as you're editing, don't forget, like, you can experiment. You're not going to get in trouble for experimenting, and if you do, then you know, stay away from the person who's getting mad at you for that. This is just like, we're just trying things. And there's something about this building in the background that I just want to make sure that people can see that. So now we're done with our colors. So we're going to go to our third step, which is, of course, can't hear you, polish. So let's polish these last bits. So I'm going to take my adjustment tool, brush. Perfect. See if we can get rid of it more. Let's go to clone. Let's see. Done. Then when we step back, we always got to step back and add some brightness to this image here. So I'll do a little bit more tweaking, but there you have it. My friends, how was that? Hopefully you found some value in that. Let's just recap quickly our 3 steps to a consistent editing process. So number 1, adjust your image. This is little adjustments, so we bring in the raw image, we make the adjustments in the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. Number 2, color. This is where we tweak the colors in the image so it looks realistic, but also has the feeling that you're looking for. So is it a warmer image? Is it a colder image? You decide. And number 3, polish. That's when we do all the nice fancy bits, which could be vignetting, moving some blemishes, removing sticks and twigs, things in the image that are bothering you. This is where we polish the image. So we always remember: adjust, color, polish. Those are the 3 things that will help you move forward with your editing, so you're not just sitting there editing for 7 hours on your phone like this, just falling into oblivion. Cool? So until the next video, I hope you have a lovely week, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.